Hello students, good evening to one and all. Students, I welcome you back once again to YEP Master. See students, we are discussing biology in human welfare, in other words human health and diseases. Students, in previous lecture we have seen amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. Entamoeba histolytica causes amoebiasis, amoebic dysentery. Life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica we have seen in detail students, symptoms of the disease and prophylactic measures, treatment, everything we have seen. In today's session, we are going to talk about one more infectious disease students, and that is malaria. See students, you know malaria is again infectious disease. It is caused by protozoan students. First we will discuss whatever is there in NCERT, right. We will finish those things first and then we will discuss malaria parasite life cycle in detail students. You see, if you see this image, this kind of life cycle of the Plasmodium vivax you can see in NCERT textbook students, right. It is very simple. In brief it is mentioned in NCERT. Let us see what exactly mentioned in NCERT students, because at the end of the day whatever is there in NCERT, you know, questions will be framed on that, right students, right. And again we are going to see the life cycle in detail students. You see Plasmodium, you know, malaria parasite is, Plasmodium is considered as what? Malaria parasite. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium student, right. So in Plasmodium different kinds of species are there. So here we should focus, our focus should be on what? Genus, right. So Plasmodium is a tiny protozoan, means a very small protozoan students. All protozoans are obviously tiny, right. So this Plasmodium, as usual, as it is protozoan, it is tiny and is responsible for causing what? Malaria. You can see this is the statement which you can find in NCERT students, right. So Plasmodium is a tiny protozoan which is responsible for causing malaria. And see, there are different species, right. So this genus Plasmodium has several species students, right. So for example, you see Plasmodium vivax is there. So Plasmodium vivax causes one special kind of malaria students, and that is called benign tertian malaria. Important things you need to remember, these are very important NCERT point students, right. So Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium is the name of the genus, vivax is species. Plasmodium vivax causes a kind of malaria, and this malaria is known as what? Benign tertian malaria students. Every third day, you know, fever recurs, so therefore it is called what? Benign tertian malaria. One more parasite is there student, one more species is there in Plasmodium genus, that is Plasmodium malaria students. Plasmodium malaria is responsible for causing quartan malaria, right. On every fourth day fever recurs students, so therefore it is called quartan malaria. So all you need to remember, so names of the species and, you know, diseases caused by those species you have to remember students. So there is a possibility, right. So you may expect question in match the columns, there is a possibility you may expect, right. So this in this right, on this point you may expect question in what? Match the following. In one column all species of Plasmodium will be mentioned, in another column what? Diseases caused by those species will be mentioned students. So there is a possibility, so do remember this is very important point. So Plasmodium malaria causes what? Quartan malaria students. And one more species is there, Plasmodium falciparum. Plasmodium falciparum is going to cause malignant tertian malaria students. What? Malignant tertian malaria. And one more species is there students, right. So Plasmodium oval causes what? Mild malaria students, right. Mild tertian malaria is caused by oval. Falciparum causes what? Malignant tertian malaria students. So in this way there are 4 different types of species in genus Plasmodium, and those 4 different types of species are responsible for causing 4 different types of, you know, malaria students, right. We have seen so Plasmodium species and what different kinds of malaria caused by them. See students, again this malaria parasite requires 2 hosts to complete its life cycle students. Malaria parasite completes its life cycle in 2 hosts, right. So for completion of its life cycle, how many hosts are required? Plasmodium vivax, right. So here we are, our focus will be on what? Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax parasite requires 2 hosts to complete its life cycle students, right. Primary host here in case of Plasmodium vivax, primary host is female Anopheles mosquito student. So this is tiny, I mean smaller organism, and it is primary host, you need to remember, right. So generally so there is a possibility you may confuse, right. So human being is larger in size, human being is mammalian, you know, it is a vertebrate, right student, right. So human being is considered generally, you know, you may consider there is a misunderstanding. So human being is generally, right, we consider human being as what primary host, but here in this case Plasmodium vivax, human being is secondary host student, right, intermediate host, and primary host for the Plasmodium vivax is female Anopheles mosquito. So all you need to remember, Plasmodium vivax requires 2 hosts to complete its life cycle, right. One host is here female Anopheles mosquito, and female Anopheles mosquito is considered as primary host. The reason behind, you know, considering female Anopheles mosquito as primary host is, in a female Anopheles mosquito, Plasmodium vivax undergoes what? Sexual reproduction, students, right, right. So Plasmodium reproduces sexually in female Anopheles mosquito. So therefore female Anopheles mosquito is called primary host, and in human being Plasmodium reproduces asexually. So therefore human being is considered as what? Secondary host student. Here in this case you need to remember, human being is also called what? Secondary host or intermediate host students, right. So it requires what? It requires, I mean, Plasmodium vivax undergoes asexual reproduction. Plasmodium vivax undergoes asexual reproduction in human being. So therefore human being is considered as what? Secondary host or intermediate host student. So these are just basic things you need to remember, right student, right. You see here, man's hand has been shown here, human being hand has been shown, right. So human being entire body is not shown, human being hand is shown, right, right. So apart from human being hand, you can see what? Mosquito is shown here, students, right. So in brief, in NCERT very simple kind of diagram is given, students, right, right. Let us see some other beautiful aspects. So same diagram, students, NCERT, right. So first we will find out whatever is there in NCERT, right. So that matters at the end of the day a lot. See, Plasmodium enters. So how Plasmodium? So first we are going to talk about what? Human being phase, right. So how Plasmodium is going to undergo asexual multiplication or asexual reproduction in human being, right. So when Plasmodium enters human being, right. So what stage enters in the body of human being, how it undergoes, where, in what kind of body parts it undergoes what? Asexual multiplication, we have to see in brief. So Plasmodium enters human body in the form of what? Sporozoite, students, right, right. So sporozoites are what? Infective stages of Plasmodium to human being. So now question raises, so how these sporozoites, Plasmodium, parasites, right. So sporozoites enter the body of human being, that is important, right, right. So Plasmodium enters human body in the form of sporozoites. Sporozoites are what? Infective stages through what? Bites, students, bite of infected female Anopheles mosquito. This is very important, you need to remember, students, right, right. So I hope you understood. So how Plasmodium enters human being? So Plasmodium enters human being or human body in the form of sporozoites. Sporozoites are here considered as what? Since sporozoites are entering the body of human being, so sporozoites are considered as what? Infective stages, and whenever infected female Anopheles mosquito bites to suck the blood, right student, right. So infected mosquito releases its saliva into the blood of human being, right. So along with that saliva, sporozoites, right, which are considered as infective stages, enter the body of human being, students, right, right. So this is in this way. So Plasmodium enters, makes entry into the human body, you need to remember, this is very important. So sporozoites, right. So sporozoites are infective stages to man. This point is very, very important, students, even it is there in NCERT, right, right. Next you see, now the parasite, right, means sporozoite stage of the Plasmodium vivax is now in blood, students, right, right. So through through blood circulation, right, it's very simple, through blood circulation the sporozoites are taken to the, carried to what? Liver, students, right, right. So therefore these sporozoites, right, so initially multiply in within liver cells, students. So this is very, very important, you see. So sporozoites are released into what? Human body, human blood, right. So right, through blood circulation what happens? So these sporozoites are carried to the liver, so where they initially undergo what? Multiplication, students, right. So initial multiplication in the human body occurs where? So in the hepatocyte, students, are within the liver cells, right, multiplication initially occurs. It's very simple. And then what happens, students, right. So after damaging hepatocytes or liver cells, and after undergoing what? repeated asexual multiplications in the hepatocytes, right, after damaging liver cells considerably. So these parasites again attack what? RBC students, and again inside RBCs they undergo what? Multiplication. So in this way they show asexual multiplication cycles in liver cells as well as in RBC students. You need to remember, it's very simple. And wherever RBCs rupture, right, so along with what? Parasitic stages, hemozoin, which is formed from what? Heme students, right. So generally these parasites, when they attack hemoglobin, so they consume what? Hemoglobin students, right. So when they consume hemoglobin, so heme part of the hemoglobin is converted into hemozoin students. So this is very, very important. And whenever RBC ruptures, along with what? Parasitic stages, erythrocytic merozoites, hemozoin is also released into blood students. So whenever hemozoin is released into blood, so that hemozoin is responsible for causing what? Malaria symptoms students. So these are simple points which are mentioned in NCERT students. It's a very, very simple. You see all those things. Let me simply give you a quick reminder. So see, as far as entry of the parasite into the body of human being is concerned, whenever infected female Anopheles mosquito bites the human being to suck the blood, so it will be injecting what? Saliva into the body of human being students, right. So along with that saliva, sporozoites enter blood, right. So blood carries those sporozoites infective stages to the liver students. So this is liver, right. It's very simple. And after entering what? Liver, these sporozoites, infective stages of the Plasmodium vivax, they attack what? Hepatocytes. See, parasites are attacking hepatocyte student, right. And in hepatocytes they are undergoing what? Multiplication, right student, right. So in this way parasites are increasing their number, right, by undergoing asexual multiplication in liver cell students. So again what? These stages attack what? Again these parasitic stages again attack what? Liver cells. In this way they increase their number students, right. And after damaging what? Considerable number of hepatocytes, so what these parasites are gonna do? So these parasitic stages again attack what? RBC. Are you able to see? RBC. And again in RBC they undergo what? Asexual multiplication, right student, right. So asexual multiplication in liver cells is called hepatic schizogony. Asexual multiplication in RBCs is called what? Erythrocytic schizogony. Students will talk about these things in detail, right, subsequently. First you have to think of what? NCERT. Then what happens after reducing the number of RBCs in the body? So that condition is called anemia students, right. So whenever these erythrocytic merozoites, kind of parasitic stages of the Plasmodium vivax, they attack what? Immature RBCs, which are generally found in what? Spleen student, right, and bone marrow. And see, whenever these parasites attack what? RBCs, instead of transforming into what? Erythrocytic merozoites, they transform into what? They change themselves into, they transform into what? Gametocyte students. So in this way gametocytes are formed, right. So this is what? These changes takes place in the body of human being students, right. So in this way what you can say, we have finished what students? Human phase of Plasmodium vivax in brief, right. So as per NCERT, it's very simple. Then what happens? You see, next what happens? You see, same thing. So what about female Anopheles mosquito? What kind of stages of the Plasmodium vivax enter female Anopheles mosquito? You see students here, now what kind of stages are formed? So what is the name of the entry, what is the name of the stage that enters the body of human being? Sporozoite, right student, right. And ultimately from sporozoite what is formed? So in RBCs gametocytes are formed. Gametocytes means gamete mother cells, you need to remember. So gamete mother cells are formed where? Inside RBC students, right. You can clearly see larger gamete mother cell is called female gametocyte and smaller one is called male gametocyte students, or microgametocyte. This is mega gametocyte or macro gametocyte, smaller is microgametocyte or male gametocyte, simple. Now you see these gametocytes are there where? Inside the RBCs in human body. So whenever mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito bites human being, in order to suck the blood, along with blood, right, these gametocytic stages plus other stages of the parasite, if at all any stage is there in the blood, right. So along with these gametocytic stages, all the parasitic stages enter the crop of the female or stomach of female students, right. It's very simple. So inside crop what happens? All the other stages of parasite Plasmodium vivax are disintegrated, right? Right. So, only one type of stages will be left, students, right, and they are gametocytes. Only gametocytes will survive in the crop of the mosquito, student, right, mosquito crop. And you see, from those gametocytes, gametes will be formed, students, right. What gametes will be formed from macro gametocyte or mega gametocyte, female gamete will be formed, egg will be formed. From micro gametocyte, students, 8 male gametes will be formed, or micro gametes, sperms will be formed, students, right, right. So, fertilization, after formation of gametes, fertilization occurs. Fertilization takes place where? Fertilization takes place in the stomach, that is nothing but what? Crop of the female, students, right. In the lumen of crop of female, fertilization takes place. You can see here it has been shown in NCERT figure, right. So, it is very simple, very simple. As a result of fertilization, what is formed? As a result of fertilization, zygote is formed, students. Very simple. Zygote undergoes what? Some changes. It transforms into what? Vermicule or ookinete, students, right, right. It is very simple. And then that vermicule transform into what? Oocyst, student, right, right. That becomes round, and around it, small, cyst is formed. So, oocyst will be formed, right, student, right. In oocyst, what? Diploid nucleus is there. The diploid nucleus undergoes what? Meiosis, students, in the beginning, right. So, haploid nuclei will be formed, and these haploid nuclei repeatedly undergo mitosis, form large number of haploid nuclei, students. Each nuclear bit is surrounded by small amount of cytoplasm, and that cytoplasm along with nuclear bit is called what? Sporoblast, students, right. And a cyst containing sporoblast is called sporocyst, student, right, right. From sporoblast, what? Sporozoites will be formed, right, student, right, inside the cyst. And whenever, and this process of formation of sporozoites in the oocyst is known as what? Sporogony, students, right. So, ultimately you see sporozoites are formed, right, right. So, sporozoites are formed, and cyst ruptures, right. So, sporozoites are released into the hemocoel, and these sporozoites are carried to what? Salivary gland, students. So, that is what directly shown in NCERT. This is salivary gland. Inside salivary gland, all sporozoites are stored, students, right. And sporozoites are infective stages to what? Human being. So, now these sporozoites are there where? In the salivary glands of what? Female Anopheles mosquito. So, what is happening again? So, female mosquito, right, so which is carrying sporozoites in its salivary glands, right. So, whenever that mosquito bites another person, right, so along with saliva, these sporozoites are inoculated or injected into the body of human being, students, and in this way cycle again continues. So, you see how beautifully it is shown in NCERT. In brief, it is shown in NCERT, students, right, right. So, I hope you have understood and you have enjoyed this, right. It is very simple, student. Now, you see few points NCERT. When female Anopheles mosquito bites, right, infected person, these parasites, right. So, means what? Parasites in the form of what? Gametocytes and other stages as well, students. So, here in NCERT every time parasite is mentioned, no problem. These parasites enter the mosquito body and undergo what? Further development. It is very simple, right, right. So, gametocytes transforms into gametes, and then gametes undergo what? Fertilization, right, student, right, and further development takes place. It is very simple. The parasites multiply within, right. So, female Anopheles mosquito, right, student, right, so very simple, and form what? To form sporozoites. Already I told you, I explained you how. It is very simple, directly it is mentioned, that are stored in the salivary glands. So, sporozoites are ultimately formed, and they are stored in what? Salivary glands, that is directly it is mentioned. So, when these mosquitoes, infected mosquitoes, right, student, right, bite human being, sporozoites are introduced into his or her body, right, student, right, and thereby initiating the events mentioned above, right. It is a very simple, in brief it is mentioned in NCERT, students, right, right. So, I hope you enjoyed whatever is there in NCERT. It is very simple. Now, see, students, we will discuss the life cycle of malaria parasite in detail, right. So, actually this is the right comprehensive diagram as far as life cycle of malaria parasite is concerned, students, right. It is a very simple, right. It is again very simple. Now, let us see life cycle of this malaria parasite in detail, students. Whatever we have seen so far, that is life cycle of Plasmodium in brief, right. Now, it is turn to discuss what? This life cycle of Plasmodium in detail. See, students, I told you Plasmodium requires how many hosts to complete its life cycle? Plasmodium vivax, which is responsible for causing malaria, requires 2 hosts to complete its life cycle, students, right, right. So, first one is, one is man and another one is what, students? Female Anopheles mosquito. Human being is considered as what? Secondary host or intermediate host, student, right. So, we will start with what? Human host, that is different thing, but primary host for the Plasmodium vivax is what? Female Anopheles mosquito, students, right, right. So, primary host or definitive host you can call it. So, vertebrate host of the Plasmodium vivax is human being, right, or secondary host you can call it, and invertebrate host of the Plasmodium vivax is what? Female Anopheles mosquito, students, right. So, for female Anopheles mosquito is primary host or definitive host, students, right. So, you see, as it needs two hosts to complete its life cycle, so for study convenience purpose, entire life cycle of the Plasmodium vivax we can study under two headings. So, that is why first heading you see life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in man, students. It is very simple, right. You see, Plasmodium reproduces what? Asexually, already I told you. When parasite undergoes what? Asexual reproduction in any host, that host is called what? Secondary host or intermediate host. So, Plasmodium vivax reproduces asexually in human being. So, therefore, human being is called what? Secondary host or intermediate host, students. So, Plasmodium, all you need to remember, Plasmodium vivax as far as human Plasmodium vivax life cycle in human being is concerned, or human phase of Plasmodium vivax is concerned, student, right. So, Plasmodium vivax reproduces asexually or by means of asexual reproduction in human being, and this asexual reproduction which takes place in human being is called schizogony. What? Schizogony. This term you need to remember. All you need to remember, schizogony. What is schizogony? Asexual multiplication of Plasmodium vivax in human being is called schizogony, students. I hope you understood. It's a very simple. See, this asexual multiplication, that is nothing but schizogony in human body. It occurs in two different places, students. It occurs in two different cells or two different places, right. One is liver or liver cells, you can say. Schizogony that occurs in liver cells. Liver cells are also called hepatocytes. So, that kind of schizogony is called what? Hepatic schizogony, students, right. And you know, schizogony, that is asexual multiplication of the Plasmodium, that occurs in erythrocytes or RBCs is known as what? Erythrocytic schizogony, students, right. It is very simple. So, schizogony you understood, asexual multiplication of the Plasmodium vivax. So, you know, this occurs in two different kinds of cells, right. One is hepatocytes or hepatic cell, students. So, that is called hepatic schizogony. It is very simple. If schizogony occurs inside RBC, it is called what? Erythrocytic schizogony, students. It is very simple, right. I hope you understood. It is very simple. You see, try to understand. So, below this students, right. So, below this line, so you can see this is what? Human being phase, and above this line, student, right, this is this portion above line. So, you can find this is the crop of the female mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. So, whatever I have mentioned above this red line is life cycle of Plasmodium in female Anopheles mosquito, and below this line, right. So, all these stages of parasites and all these everything, right. So, everything here below this diagram is associated with what? Are concerned with human phase or life cycle of Plasmodium in human being, students, right. Now, let us see in detail, right, hepatic schizogony, students, here. So, we can discuss. Now, you understood what? Schizogony, right. So, schizogony, hepatic schizogony and erythrocytic schizogony, students. See next, hepatic schizogony, right, students, right. Continuation, it is a very simple. See, you should know how the parasite looks like, So, this is the parasite, students, right. So, that too sporozoite, right. So, this is the infective stage, right. This is the infective stage to human being, and this is sporozoite, students. So, this is unicellular organism, right. Body is elongated, you can say, of course, tiny, microscopic, right. Body is covered with what? See, students, plasma membrane, pellicle you see here, right. So, pellicle, body is covered with pellicle. It is very simple. Cytoplasm, are you able to see? Yeah, cytoplasm consists of what? Mitochondria. This is cytoplasm, consists of mitochondria. Convoluted tubules will be there in its body, right. So, nucleus is there, student, right. Paired structures are there, paired organelles, right. It is very simple. Micro tubules of pellicle you can see, students, right. So, apical cap, everything, right. So, this is all you need to remember. You should have some idea regarding what sporozoite, how it looks like, right. So, nobody is going to ask question on this, right. So, all you need to remember which stage is infective stage to human being. So, all you need to remember what? Sporozoite is considered as what? Infective stage to human being, that much you need to remember. So, how it looks like, you see, you should get some idea. So, this is sporozoite. So, that is why, you know, I brought this figure for you, otherwise not necessary. It is very simple. So, this is sporozoite, students, right. It is very simple. Now, let us see what exactly hepatic schizogony is. I told you asexual multiplication or asexual reproduction that occurs in the liver is called what? Hepatic schizogony, students, right. So, it is very simple. That is what I have mentioned. Asexual multiplication in the liver is called hepatic schizogony, and this hepatic schizogony was discovered by two scientists, right. Short and Garnham, students, Short and Garnham, SHORT, right. Ishort Gornam. So these two scientists what discovered this hepatic schizogony, students, you need to remember this. See, whenever female Anopheles mosquito, whenever infected female Anopheles mosquito bites human being to suck the blood along with saliva, right. So sporozoites are released, liberated into, inoculated into, released into the blood, right. So blood circulation carries these sporozoites to the liver, and within half an hour, so after the entry of the parasite or sporozoites into the blood, within just half an hour, these parasites are, sporozoites are taken to what? Carried to the liver, students. So that is what I have mentioned. It's very simple, right. And so after reaching what? Liver, so it attacks, the sporozoite attacks what? Liver cells, students, right. And after attacking liver cell, it starts what? Asexual multiplication in the liver cell, students, and that is known as what? Hepatic schizogony, right. And in hepatic schizogony, right, you will come across what? Pre-erythrocytic cycle will be there, students, some cycles will be there, right. So repeatedly it undergoes what? Asexual multiplication, and those repeated, when parasite is undergoing repeatedly multiplication in what? Liver cells, so those are considered, those cycles, right, those cycles are there, and those cycles are considered as what? Pre-erythrocycle. First, whenever fresh sporozoite attacks fresh liver cell, and right, it reproduces by means of asexual multiplication, right, and it causes rupture of what you can say liver cells, right. So firstly in the beginning, right, so that is called what? Pre-erythrocytic cycle. And after rupturing hepatocytes or liver cells, parasites are again released, and those parasites again attack what? Fresh liver cells, and they one more simply cycle, they asexual multiplication cycle, right. So they undergo one more asexual multiplication cycle, that is called what? Exoerythrocytic cycle. So all you need to remember, hepatic schizogony means asexual multiplication in hepatocytes, right. So sporozoite undergoes asexual multiplication in hepatocytes, and that is called hepatic schizogony. Hepatic schizogony occurs in liver cells, that is why it is called what? Hepatic schizogony. And hepatic schizogony, in hepatic schizogony some cycles are there. First cycle is called what, student? You need to remember, pre-erythrocytic schizogony before RBCs. So it is called pre-erythrocytic schizogony. Exoerythrocytic schizogony, exo means outside RBC, means this pre-erythrocytic schizogony, exoerythrocytic schizogony, these are what? Cycles of what? Asexual multiplication in liver cells, right, not in RBCs, you need to remember, students. How? Let us see with the help of this diagram. It is very simple, students. See, hepatic schizogony, same thing, asexual multiplication in the liver cells is called hepatic schizogony, students, right. You see, hepatic schizogony includes two cycles, right. So first one is, you see, pre-erythrocytic schizogony or pre-erythrocytic cycle, you can say, nothing is wrong in that, cycle or schizogony same. Then you see exoerythrocytic schizogony or exoerythrocytic cycle, students. It is very simple, my dear students, right. You see, if you see this diagram, so you can clearly see below this line, whatever I have shown is pre-erythrocytic cycle, student, right, pre-erythrocytic cycle or pre-erythrocytic schizogony. So occurs where? In liver cells, right. So hexagonal cells I have shown, it's very simple. And whatever I have shown above this line, that is what? Exoerythrocytic cycle, student, right, one more cycle. But in both the cases, common is what? Liver cells. So pre-erythrocytic and exoerythrocytic cycles takes place where? In hepatocyte, students, right, or in liver cells. It is very simple, you need to remember. Now let us see exactly what happens. You see, sporozoites enter the blood, those sporozoites are carried, right, blood is carrying what? These sporozoites to the liver, yeah. See, sporozoites are released by the infected mosquito, they ultimately somehow reached what? Liver cells, right. So what exactly is going to carry them to the liver? Blood. So how much time is required after inoculation to reach what? Liver cells? Half an hour, not necessary, all these things. This is told by whom? Short and Garnham. So ultimately somehow, this is very important, sporozoites reached what? Liver cells, right, liver cells, inside liver cells will be there, and they start attacking what? They start attacking liver cell, right. You see, I have shown only one. So sporozoites started attacking what? Liver cell, right, student, right. So first we have to think of this, it's very simple. See, sporozoites entering liver cell. After entering liver cell, right, student, right. So which stage attacks what? Liver cell? This is very important in the beginning. So sporozoite attacks what? Liver cell, and after attacking liver cell, sporozoite, earlier it is somewhat elongated, but after attacking liver cell, after entering the liver cell, it becomes what? Round in shape, you see, right, and it starts feeding on the content of the liver cell, student, right, and this stage which start feeding on the content of the liver cell is known as what? Trophozoite. You remember, always you remember. So whenever you come across word trophozoite, right, so trophozoite, so that is feeding stage of the parasite, student, right, you see. And then what happens? So parasite attains what? It becomes larger in size, right, so it fed a lot on what? Contents of the liver. It has become larger in size, and after becoming larger in size, nucleus of the parasite, that is trophozoite stage of the parasite, undergoes what? Undergoes fission, student, right. So fragmentation, you can say fission or division, right, student, right, and it forms large number of nuclei. You can see clearly large number of nuclei are formed, right, student, right, inside parasite. And this multinucleate parasitic stage is called scission. Always, my dear students, you need to remember one thing. So whenever you come across word trophozoite, that is feeding stage, always uninucleate. So trophozoite transforms into what? Scission. How? By undergoing what? Nuclear fission or nuclear division, students, right. Cytoplasmic division is not taken place here. So large number of multinucleated what? Parasitic stage is formed, and this multinucleated parasitic stage which is formed inside the hepatocyte is called what? Scission, student, right. It's very simple. And then what happens? You see, each nuclear bit is surrounded by what? Small amount of cytoplasm. Are you able to see? Yeah, this is nuclear bit surrounded by small amount of cytoplasm, student, right. And thus large number of what? Parasites are formed, students, right. Parasitic stages are formed, or you know, young parasitic stages are formed, student, right. You see how simple it is, you see, right, it is very simple. So just imagine one sporozoite entered, right, one trophozoite. So from one trophozoite, large one scission is formed, right, large number of nuclear bits are there inside scission. Multinucleate stage of the parasite is called scission. Scission is undergoing what? Schizogony. Schizogony means what? Already I told you, asexual multiplication. Nuclear bit is surrounded by small amount of cytoplasm, and from that nuclear bit with small amount of cytoplasm, one organism will be formed, one individual will be formed, right. So some thousands of individuals will be formed, thousands of parasitic stages will be formed, student, right, from as a result of what? Schizogony inside the liver cells, right. So now you see, after the formation of what? You know, the young individuals or parasitic stages, liver cell ruptures, right, liver cell ruptures and releases what? Large number of parasitic stages, students, right. It is a very simple, and this multiplication, right, is known as what? Pre-erythrocytic cycle. Before RBCs, right, before the asexual multiplication in RBCs, it is taking place. So therefore it is called pre-erythrocytic cycle, right. So pre-erythrocytic cycle always occurs in liver cells. What we have seen? Sporozoites attack, transform into trophozoite, trophozoite becomes what? Scission, scission undergoes what? Schizogony, that is asexual multiplication, nothing but, and forms large number of what? Parasitic stages, and they are called what? They are called cryptozoites, students. Here I have mentioned, you see, cryptozoites are released. So from one sporozoite, so how many cryptozoites will be released? You see, 12,000, students. How many? 12,000 cryptozoites are released. You can imagine capacity of reproductive capacity of Plasmodium vivax, right. So one sporozoite is entering and it is releasing how many cryptozoites, students? How many cryptozoites? They are also called what? See, these are what? Cryptozoites, students. It is very important. Cryptozoites, right. Cryptozoites are also called, how many? 12,000 cryptozoites are released. So they are also called what? First generation merozoites. What? First generation merozoites, dear students. So you can call them first generation merozoites, right, students, right. It's very, very simple. First generation merozoites are cryptozoites. From one sporozoite, 12,000 are formed, right. So what they do again? See, these cryptozoites, students, it's very simple. These cryptozoites have two options. These cryptozoites have two options. They may attack RBC. See, here I am showing, this is RBC, student, right. So RBC, these cryptozoites may attack RBC, right, or cryptozoites may attack what? Fresh liver cell. You can see fresh liver cell. So maximum possibility we are discussing, students, every possibility we are discussing. So cryptozoites themselves can attack what? RBC, and they start what? Erythrocytic schizogony. Otherwise what? Cryptozoites may attack what? Fresh liver cell, students, again in order to increase their number. So parasite wants to increase its number like anything, so that it can cause maximum damage to the human host, student, right. See, you see, cryptozoites are attacking fresh liver cell, yeah, again becomes what? Trophozoite, student, right. So trophozoite undergoes what? Nuclear division, forms multinucleated stage, schizont, and you know again what? Schizogony, each nuclear bit is surrounded by a small amount of cytoplasm, right? So this time again what? Parasitic stages are formed, and this time the parasitic stages which are formed are called what? Metacryptozoite, students. What? Metacryptozoites are formed now. After formation of metacryptozoites, what happens? Liver cell ruptures, you see liver cell is ruptured and metacryptozoites are released into liver sinusoids, students, right? Into liver sinusoids, what? Metacryptozoites are released. You can clearly see metacryptozoites are released. So these metacryptozoites are having two different kinds of metacryptozoites are there. Some are smaller and some are larger. Smaller are called micro metacryptozoites, students. Smaller are called micro metacryptozoites and larger are called what? Macro metacryptozoites, students, right? Larger are called macro metacryptozoites. Larger macro metacryptozoites, smaller are called micro metacryptozoites, student, right? So metacryptozoites are formed after what? Exoerythrocytic cycle. So this cycle is known as what? So when cryptozoites attack and produce what? Metacryptozoites in liver cells, that cycle is known as what? Exoerythrocytic cycle. So these both pre-erythrocytic cycle, exoerythrocytic cycle, both are taking place in liver cells, right? So which one is first? Pre-erythrocytic is first and later exoerythrocytic cycle, right, student? Right. So these two cycles are taking place in the liver cells, and before these two cycles are taking place before what? Parasite is multiplying asexually inside RBC. So therefore these are named as what? Pre-erythrocytic and exoerythrocytic cycle, students, respectively. How simple it is, you see, it's very simple. Now you see, now question raises, students, on RBC, cryptozoite may attack on what? RBC, right? So here two stages are formed, student, right? So microcryptozoites, always do remember microcryptozoites. Just imagine, so this is what? Metacryptozoite. This is, just imagine, for imagination purpose, metacryptozoite, students, right? Macro metacryptozoites, what? Macro metacryptozoite. It's very simple. Or you can call it second generation merozoite, right? So metacryptozoites are called second generation merozoites. Cryptozoites are first generation merozoites, most important. So macro metacryptozoites, this is macro metacryptozoites, and you see one more, this is what? Micro, smaller in size, smaller in size, so therefore it is called what? Micro metacryptozoites, students. Micro metacryptozoites. It is very simple, very simple it is, right? So you see, this is what? Cryptozoite. So cryptozoite, this is cryptozoite. Just imagine, it's very simple. What is cryptozoite? First generation merozoites which are formed as a result of what? Pre-erythrocytic cycle. So cryptozoites and micro metacryptozoites, these two stages, students, this one and this one, can attack what? RBC. Macro metacryptozoites cannot attack RBC. Macro metacryptozoites always attack what? Always attack liver cells. Always attack liver cells. Now you tell, students, how many stages are there in the life cycle of the Plasmodium vivax which could attack RBCs? Cryptozoites of pre-erythrocytic could attack what? RBC, or micro metacryptozoites of exoerythrocytic cycle could attack what? RBC, right? So to undergo what? Erythrocytic schizogony, students, right? It is very important. I hope you understood. It's very simple, students. And one more stage is there, erythrocytic merozoites, students, right, which are formed from erythrocytic schizogony. They are also capable of attacking what? Again, new RBCs. So in this way, three stages are there in the life cycle of Plasmodium vivax which could attack what? RBCs. What are those three stages? Cryptozoites, micro metacryptozoites, and next one, erythrocytic merozoites, students, right? So with this we have finished what? Hepatic schizogony we have finished, dear students. In hepatic schizogony, what happens, my dear students? In hepatic schizogony, parasite is going to increase its number. Parasite is going to increase its number, right? So here disease symptoms you cannot see, students, right? So whenever parasite is undergoing asexual multiplication or hepatic schizogony in human being, so you cannot see what? Symptoms of malaria, symptoms of disease you cannot see, students, right? So in order to see the symptoms of the disease malaria, students, right, parasite should complete what? Erythrocytic schizogony, students, right? Erythrocytic schizogony, this we have already seen, my dear students, right? You see, one more thing, important thing I would like to share with you. Pre-patent period, students. What is pre-patent period? So this is very important. This is time interval it's, do remember this, pre-patent period after these two hepatic schizogony, this is very important. After the, you know what is pre-patent period? Pre-patent period can be defined as what? Time interval between the first entry of the plasmodium into the blood in the form of what? Sporozoite, and second entry of the plasmodium into the blood in the form of what? Cryptozoites is called pre-patent period, student, right. Otherwise, simple definition, world's simple definition I would like to share with you. Pre-patent period can be defined as time interval between the entry of parasite, or simply you can say first entry of parasite into the blood and its appearance in the blood. Entry of parasite into the blood and its appearance in the blood is known as the time interval, time gap is known as what? Pre-patent period. So, pre-patent period means time interval between the entry of the parasite into the blood and its appearance in the blood is called what? Pre-patent period, student, right. So, pre-patent period in human plasmodium, in case of plasmodium, pre-patent period is about 8 days, students, right. So, after the entry of parasite into the blood, how many days time is required to see the parasitic stages into the blood? 8 days time is required, right. Why 8 days time is required? You see, my dear students, so for this pre-erythrocytic cycle, 8 days time is required. How many? 8 days time is required, student, right. You see, it's very simple. And see, for again this exoerythrocytic cycle, how many times, how much time is required? 48 hours time is required, student, right, means 2 days are required. So, immediately after what? Pre-erythrocytic cycle, these are released into what? Liver sinusoid, cryptozoites are first generation merozoites, they attack what? RBC, it's very simple. And you can see what? These parasitic stays in blood. So, therefore, I have mentioned 8 days time, right, minimum 8 days time is required, it's a very simple, student, right. So, what is pre-patent period? Time interval between the entry of parasite into the blood and its appearance in the blood. Time interval between the entry of the parasite into the body of human being, in this way also you can define, and its appearance in what? Blood is called what? Pre-patent period, and in case of Plasmodium vivax it is 8 days, students, right. I explained, I justified this, it is very simple. Now, you see, in human being, next asexual multiplication occurs in what? RBC, students, right. So, asexual multiplication inside RBC is called erythrocytic schizogony, it is very simple, students. And this erythrocytic schizogony is also called Golgi cycle. What? Golgi cycle or Golgi cycle, you can say. But why? Because this was described by whom? Camillo Golgi. So, therefore, it is called what? Golgi cycle. It is very simple, my dear students. It is very simple, right. So, all you need to remember these diagrams, you have to practice diagrams, everything with the help of what? Beautiful images. I am trying to make you understand, students, the concept of the topic. You see, my dear students, this is what? RBC, right. RBC is there. So, you know, this RBC is attacked by what? See, student, here you see, this is very important. RBC is attacked by 2 different kinds of stages. One is cryptozoites of pre-erythrocytic cycle, and next one, see, metacryptozoites, that too micro metacryptozoites, that too what? Micro metacryptozoites of what? Exoerythrocytic cycle, students, right. So, cryptozoites of pre-erythrocytic cycle and this what? Metacryptozoites of exoerythrocytic cycle are attacking what? Are attacking cryptozoites of pre-erythrocytic cycle, and micro metacryptozoites of what? Exoerythrocytic cycle are attacking what? RBC, student, right. So, after attacking RBC, what happens? These parasitic stages simply transform into what? Trophozoite, students. So, you can clearly see trophozoite inside RBC, and then what happens? You see, this trophozoite feeds on hemoglobin, right, and it pushes, and vacuole will be formed, students, right, inside its body. Vacuole will be formed. This is, are you able to see? This is V stands for vacuole, and it pushes what? Nucleus to the periphery, and this parasitic stage is looking like what? Ring, students. So, therefore, this stage is called signet ring stage. All you need to remember, my dear students, signet ring stage in Plasmodium life cycle is formed during erythrocytic schizogony or pre-erythrocytic schizogony or exoerythrocytic schizogony. It is during erythrocytic schizogony, means it is always formed inside RBC, students. So, this kind of questions will be asked. So, then what happens? You see, signet ring stage of the parasite is now in the form of a ring called signet ring stage. that signet ring stage of the parasite transforms into what? Amoeboid stage, right? So Plasmodium parasite will be showing what? Pseudopodia, students, right? And it looks like amoeba. So this stage is called what? Amoeboid stage. And this parasite is feeding on what? Hemoglobin content of the RBC, student, right? You need to remember. And then what happens, you see, parasite, nucleus of the amoeboid stage undergoes what? It's very simple. Again, that will be losing pseudopodia, and the you see here parasite, right? So in sequence you need to remember, after entry into the RBC, immediately trophozoite will be formed. Trophozoite transforms into signet ring stage. Sequence is very, very important. Signet ring stage later transforms into amoeboid stage. It's very simple. It's all parasite, student, right? So then what happens? This amoeboid stage transforms into what? Schizont. Always do remember, schizont is multi-nucleated stage of the parasite, student, right? See, multi-nucleated stage. Are you able to see? Many nuclei will be there. Yeah. So at this stage, student, right? So schizont is formed. So each nuclear bit is surrounded by small amount of cytoplasm, and thus young parasitic stages are formed, right? This process is known as what? Schizogony, asexual multiplication, student, right? It's very simple. So at the same time in schizont, you can see what? Hemozoin granules, students. Are you able to see hemozoin granules here in this? I have shown here hemozoin granules. This hemozoin granules, it's very simple. These hemozoin granules are actually responsible for causing malaria, students. So they are actually hemozoin granules are actually responsible for causing what? Malaria. And hemozoin granules are also called malaria pigments. And these are formed from what? Heme part of hemoglobin, students. In hemoglobin, heme is there, non-proteinous part, right? From that non-proteinous heme, what? Hemozoin granules will be formed, students. You see name itself indicating hemozoin granules are formed from which constituent of the hemoglobin? Heme. And this hemozoin is considered as what? Hemozoin is considered as malaria pigment, and this hemozoin, whenever released into the blood, right, whenever RBC ruptured, in order to release what? These parasitic stages, that is erythrocytic merozoites into the blood. So along with erythrocytic merozoites, hemozoin is also released, liberated into the blood, and whenever hemozoin is liberated into the blood, then what? Malaria symptoms can be seen, student, right? It's very simple. See, then what happens? After the formation of erythrocytic merozoites, right, as a result of sexual multiplication inside the RBC, now you see RBC ruptures. You see RBC ruptures, disintegrates, and it releasing what? It is releasing erythrocytic merozoites. My dear students, all you need to remember, what are cryptozoites, then what are metacryptozoites, right? So cryptozoites are formed as a result of pre-erythrocytic schizogony. Metacryptozoites are formed as a result of what? Exoerythrocytic schizogony. What are micro metacryptozoites? What are macro metacryptozoites? What is their fate? Everything. What are erythrocytic cryptozoites, students, right? Erythrocytic merozoites. So erythrocytic merozoites are released. Along with erythrocytic merozoites, hemozoin granules are also released, students, right? And these hemozoin granules are responsible for causing what? Most important, malaria symptoms, students, right? So again you see, along with hemozoin granules, you can find what? Schaffner's dot. What? Here it has not been shown. Schaffner's dot, students. What? Schaffner's dots you can find, and these are considered as what? These are considered as antigens of the parasite, students. Antigens released by the parasites. Schaffner's dots are antigens. Now you tell malaria is mainly caused due to what? Schaffner's dots are hemozoin granules. It is hemozoin granules. Even it is mentioned in NCERT. Don't forget, this question will be asked on this. It's very simple. And then you see what is the fate of these erythrocytic merozoites, students. See, these erythrocytic merozoites may attack what? Fresh RBC. You see, erythrocytic merozoite is attacking what? Fresh RBC, student, right? And it may continue what? One more cycle of erythrocytic schizogony, or one more cycle of asexual multiplication, students, right? The intention of the parasite is to increase its number. Most important, you need to remember, students, right? If it increases its number, it will be effectively damages what? Human body, you need to remember, students. So that is why it repeatedly undergoes. That is the beauty of the life cycle of the parasite. You see how intelligent the parasite is. It's very simple and it's quite interesting also, student, right? And then you see, after attacking repeatedly on the RBC, after forming large number of, in one cycle, right, when one micro metacryptozoites or cryptozoite or erythrocytic merozoite enters, 12 to 24 erythrocytic merozoites will be formed. That is not important, but if you remember, it would be better, student, right? Then you see erythrocytic merozoites again attack what? RBCs. They decrease the number of RBC. That is what? Anemia, students, which is the symptom of what? Malaria. And once RBC number decreases, students, what happens? After these erythrocytic merozoites, when they enter, you need to remember always erythrocytic merozoites are parasites which are released from the rupture of RBCs. Those parasites I am talking about, stages, right, erythrocytic merozoites. Whenever erythrocytic merozoites attack what? RBCs, and whenever RBC number is decreased, students, right, and now instead of repeating the cycle, these RBCs transform into what? RBCs transform into gametocyte, student, right. So larger one is called macrogametocyte or female gametocyte, and smaller one is called, you see, smaller in size, larger in size, smaller one called microgametocyte, students. This microgametocyte is also called male gametocyte. This is called what? Female gametocyte, student, right. I hope you understood. It's very simple. So with this we have finished what, student? Erythrocytic schizogony also we have finished, dear students. Now you see incubation period. One more technical word you will come across, students, incubation period. What is incubation period? You can see over here, it's very simple. See how much time is required for this. So 48 hours time is required, students, for 48 hours, right. So pre-erythrocytic schizogony we have seen how much time? 8 days. Exoerythrocytic schizogony 2 days, students, 48 hours, right, 10 days, and this you see 2 days, right, 48 hours required. It's very simple. Now you see incubation period. So what is incubation period? So incubation period can be defined as entry of parasite into the blood of human being and time interval between the entry of parasite into the human being and first appearance of symptoms, or time interval between the entry of parasite and appearance of symptoms is known as what? Incubation period, student, right. So incubation period in case of what? Plasmodium vivax is 10 to 24 days. Now question raises, if you calculate 8 plus 2, 8 pre-erythrocytic, exoerythrocytic 2, 10, and these two 12, student, right. You see 10 to 14 I have mentioned. It's very simple. So why 10? Why 10? See, soon after completion of pre-erythrocytic cycle, cryptozoites may attack RBC and they may produce what? Erythrocytic merozoites, and they may cause release of what? Hemozoin. So means in 10 days also you can see symptoms. So therefore in range I have shown, students. With this we have finished what? Human phase we have finished. Plasmodium vivax human phase we have finished, students, right, and pre-patent period, incubation period, everything we have finished which are not mentioned in NCERT. Now students, you see, it's very simple. Is formation of gametocytes, right. Already I told you formation of gametocytes, students. So after undergoing repeated what? Erythrocytic schizogonies, erythrocytic merozoites, right, student, right, after attacking what? RBCs, instead of transforming into erythrocytic merozoites, schizont, you can trophozoite and schizont, and thereby signet ring stage, amoeboid stage, schizont, right, students, right. So instead of undergoing erythrocytic schizogony, they transform into what? Gametocytes, students, right. Larger one is called macro and smaller one is called microgametocytes. And gametocyte formation generally always occurs in what? RBCs, you need to remember, and gametocytes formation inside the RBC generally occurs in spleen and bone marrow, students. If you remember, this would be better. And further development of gametocytes into gametes. Gametocytes are nothing but gamete mother cells, right. So formation of gametes from gamete mother cells always occurs in the body of female Anopheles mosquito, student, right. So why? Here for the further development of gametocytes, so temperature and pH of the human body is not suitable, students, right. So these gametocytes inside RBC will remain, they survive inside RBC for 7 days in human body, students, right. So within that time, so they must be transferred to the mosquito, otherwise these will be disintegrated in the blood, student, right. So with this we have finished what? Life cycle of Plasmodium in man finished. Now you see, students, Ross cycle. So life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in mosquito, students, right. Life cycle of Plasmodium vivax. So below this line, you can see below this red line, whatever is there, we have finished, students, right. So this is human phase, we have finished. So you can clearly see this is pre-erythrocytic phase, students, here. This is what? Exoerythrocytic phase, right, student, right, we have seen. Then we have seen what? Erythrocytic schizogony we have seen, student, right. It's very, very simple, nothing is there in this. Now students, so this part we have to see. Life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in female Anopheles mosquito. So life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in female Anopheles mosquito was discovered by whom? Ross, Sir Ronald Ross, students. So therefore it is called what? Ross cycle. It's very simple. So whenever female Anopheles mosquito, right, students, infected female Anopheles mosquito, you can say whatever, whenever female Anopheles mosquito bites infected person, student, and sucks the blood of what? Malaria patient. Malaria patient means infected person. The gametocytes along with other stages, right, of erythrocytic cycle reaches what? Mosquito crop, student. It is very simple, nothing is there in this. Yeah. See students, Ross cycle we are discussing. So what is Ross cycle? Life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in human being, human male we have finished, right? I mean human being we have finished, don't say male and female. Life cycle of Plasmodium vivax in human being we have finished, human phase we have finished, students. So life cycle of Plasmodium in female mosquito we have to, I mean female Anopheles mosquito we have to see. So in human being no male, no female, but whereas in mosquito male and female will be there, right? So female mosquito acts as what? Vector, and it also acts as what? Primary host. Plasmodium vivax undergoes sexual multiplication or sexual reproduction in female Anopheles mosquito. So therefore, it is female Anopheles mosquito is considered as what? Primary host, student. It's a very simple, right? So now you tell how these Plasmodium vivax stages, right? So which are present in the blood of what? Different kinds of stages which are present in the blood of human being, including what? Gametocytes. They reach what? Female Anopheles mosquito, that is question. So it's very simple. So whenever female Anopheles mosquito bites malaria patient, why it bites malaria patient? It doesn't know, right? So it bites patient, it bites human being, of course, who may be suffering from what? Malaria. In order to suck the blood, it bites. So when it sucks the blood, along with blood, gametocytic stages which are present inside the RBCs in infected person's blood, they reach what? Crop of the female Anopheles mosquito, and other stages of erythrocytic what? Life cycle, erythrocytic cycle also enters the, also reaches what? Crop of the female Anopheles mosquito, student. So all you need to remember, whenever mosquito bites malaria patient, to suck the blood, along with blood, gametocytes and other stages of the erythrocytic zygogony reaches what? Crop of the female Anopheles mosquito, students, right? All the stages except what? Gametocyte, students, right? So they are disintegrated. All the stages except gametocytes are disintegrated, right? Only gametocytes will survive in the crop of the female, students, right? So further, right? So you know these parasites, how they undergo what? Again, what you can say, further development. So those we can discuss under what? These headings, students, right? It's very simple. You see, first one, gametocytes, all the stages digested, I told you, disintegrated, except what? Gametocytes, and further part of life cycle consists of what? For study convenience purpose, we can divide further development of the parasite in the body of female Anopheles mosquito. We can discuss under 3 headings. We can study, right, with the help of what? These headings, students, right? So that we can remember the things very easily. Gametogony, then fertilization, students, then formation of ookinete and oocyst, then what? Sporogony, students, right? So under these headings, we will see further development of what? Parasites in the body of female Anopheles mosquito, students. So students, this session ends here only. Because of lack of time, we could not finish what? This mosquito phase. So in subsequent class, we will talk about this, students, right? And after completion of this mosquito phase, we will go for what? You know, symptoms, students, right? So symptoms, clinical symptoms you can say, then prophylactic measures, treatment, we will see, right? So this session ends here. Thank you for watching YepMaster. Keep watching YepMaster, students. So these things we have to see. So all these things subsequently taught. So this session ends here only, students. Thank you for watching YepMaster. Keep watching YepMaster. Thanks.